In this video, I'm going to show you how you can master par threes. I'm going to talk you through my thought process on this 15th hole and show you how you can give yourself basically more birdie putts, less bogeys, and ultimately help lower your score. So the first thing I do as I walk onto a par three is I want to go through a process that I call new target, new number. Let's go through what this is. I'm playing off the white tees today. Now on the card, this hole plays 185 yards. That number might be accurate, it might not. In this case, it's not accurate because the white tee marker is, well, it's back behind that camera over there. So the tee's some, 8 to 10 yards further forward. So straight away, that number's irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything. I have to find my new number. And I also have to find my new target. What do I mean by new target? Well, this one, as you said, we know it's a long hole. It's 170, 180 yards. Therefore, it's probably not going to be that wise for me or even yourself to go at the flag. We're looking to get the ball on the green and give ourselves a putt, so we probably want to be looking at the largest part of the green. Now, if you look at the shape of this green, and I would suggest that you're going to find this on a lot of golf holes that you play, the front of the green is very often narrower, and to the side of that green you're going to have bunkers and hazards like we have here. The further onto the green you go, it opens up a little bit, it gets a little bit wider. So when we're looking at the widest part of the green, that's going to help me. So on this particular occasion, I actually want to be going probably just past the flag because I believe that flag is probably just towards the front of the green. And when we look at it from down the line, I probably want to be marginally left of that flag. So I've not really got any numbers yet, but I'm starting to see on that green where I want my ball to go, slightly left and slightly past. So now I've got my new target, I now need a new number. And that's where I start to use some technology. So I use the Golf Buddy products, the watch and the laser. This is the Laser 2S. So I'm going to use the Laser 2S. I'm going to zap the flag. So that flag is 173. Now in terms of the distance I want to hit it, that's probably the shortest distance I want to be because I want to be sort of flag and past. So then I go to the watch and the watch tells me I've got 198 yards to the back edge. 197, it's just changed. So 173 flag, 197 back edge. Quite a lot there, 20 odd yards distance. That's where I really want to be. So theoretically, I could take a club which is 190 yards and actually be fine, or something that's about 173, 174, 175. So I want to give myself a number. I want to be accurate. Flag at 173, back of the green at 197. I'm going to try and hit this 185. So what I've got now is I've got my new target, which is slightly left and slightly long, and I've got my new number, which is 185. So new target, new number. Now, obviously talking you through that process probably takes a little bit longer than it would if I was actually on the golf course, but you're going to do it a little bit quicker. Now I need to factor in the conditions. It's pretty windy today. Throw some grass up, it's into off the left, so the wind is in this direction. It's quite a strong breeze, it's relatively cold, so what am I going to do in my 185? I'm going to increase it. I'm going to go maybe 195, maybe even 200, 10 to 15 yard wind. So 200 yards now is the number that I've got. I've now got my target. I now have to select a club based on that. So what is a 195 club for me? Today, a little bit early in the morning, not warmed up, it's a 5-iron. Okay? Now I've played this hole so many times. I've hit 7 irons, I've hit 8 irons, I've hit 9 irons, but today's a 5-iron. So that's why it's so important that we go through that process. Now I'm going to think about teeing my ball up, and I would tee my ball up and encourage you to do that. So many golfers just throw it on the ground. If you can use a tee, let's take advantage of it, but I would tee it up pretty low. Now, because of where the flag is and the shot shape that I'm trying to hit, I don't really need to be favouring either side of the teeing ground. So I'm just going to look for a nice area in the centre where I'm not going to be stood in a huge divot, or I'm not going to have anything around the ball which is visually distracting, so that's pretty good. Tee nice and low. I always set the club in behind the ball just to make sure I'm happy with that, and then I'm going to step back. So I've now got my club, my ball's teed up, I've got my number at 195, I've got my new target, I'm now into the process of hitting the shot. So what I'm going to be doing when I step back here is having some practice swings which reflects the shot that I'm trying to hit. So when I'm making these practice swings, I'm starting to see that shot that I've picked. Then what I would do is I'd stand back here, feet together, club in my trail hand, and I have one last visualization of that shot, and I'm trying to see everything about this. Where it starts, the trajectory of it, the height, how it curves. Now we know the wind's a little off the left, so I have to factor that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the shot. So now, once I'm happy, I step across that line and execute it. and I've pushed it a little right, but if I've got the right club, it's carried the bunker, and I'm actually putting. So this is where it finished, and the tee's pretty much directly behind me, so even that, you know, 173 flag, playing it as 195, I'm still actually just short of the flag. 4 iron would have gone long, 6 iron would have been obviously in the bunkers. But, you know, I've hit a decent shot, and, well, I've actually got a decent result, I should say, and I'm left with this. So if we're looking at mastering par 3s, we've got to talk about putting in a little process. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'm always going to mark my ball, because I always want to clean it. It's going to pick up some debris, some mud. I always want to do that, and then it means that I can place that ball down exactly how I want it. Now, once I've picked my ball up, I want to read the green. Now, I'm lucky, I've been at this course for years. I know a lot of the slopes of these greens. I know this one's going to be a little bit off the right, but I do want to have a look at it, you know, and I might go around this way and below it. Obviously being conscious of speed of play, but I really want to try and, you know, get a visual for what that putt is doing. Once I've done that, I really try and paint this visible white line on the ground that the ball is going to sort of roll along. And then once I've done that, I start to use reference points, so little blemishes, maybe some different colorations on the green, and I start to sort of picture how my ball is going to go from where it is into the hole. And I can see a little mark, you know, around about 3 feet in front of me, that I want my ball to go just to the right of that. So what I then do, take my ball, which has got a very visible blue line, and I place it on the green with that line exactly where I want my ball to start. And then I always leave my marker down, because from here, I can start to see a little bit clearer as to where my line on my ball is aimed. I'm pretty happy with that, but if I wasn't, I'd make some little adjustments. So once I'm happy with that, I like that line, I pick my marker up, and when I pick my marker up, for me, that's my cue to say the line that I've chosen is done. I can't question it, it's done. Boxed off, forget about it. It's now all about pace. It's all about pace. So if I then step in and I stand over the ball and think to myself, wow, that looks a little bit more off the right than I first thought, or that line on my board doesn't look like where I thought it was, those are line thoughts. I've got to reset and start again. So when I pick the marker up, that's my cue to go, right, pace, pace, pace. So what I do now, stand behind it, visualize that line, visualize the ball going in, walk in, and try and make what I've seen happen. And I've not hit it. Oh, I did. Hit it too hard, actually. So it's finished right behind the hole. That was deceptive. I thought I'd hit that, you know, not hard enough. Finished right behind the hole. The line, the ball rolled over and over and over, which means I hit a good putt. The line was pretty good for me. The pace I was trying to hit it on, that was a little bit too firm. Slightly less pace, and it would have gone in. And I know that you're going to give me that for a par, aren't you? So that's a par. So that's how I tackle par 3s. You can follow that process. I think you're going to have more birdie putts, make more pars, and ultimately get rid of those bogeys and those double bogeys.